Howdy, underlings. I love Pokemon, but I'm definitely very tired of Pokemon, so I decided to try something different. I tried Demikids Dark, which looks like if Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Raw dogged behind a Wendy's dumpster. I was originally going to play this offline and keep it to myself, but my New Year's resolution was to beat 100 games this year, and I was going to talk about that and make a video of that to some extent, so may as well just make a video about this one, because I actually do want to talk about it. But these are supposed to be fast reviews and are intended to be more casual. Everyone acts like just because you post a review that you're supposed to be treated like you work for IGN. I have 200 subscribers, please don't take it that seriously. Right, anyway, short. Let's get started. Demikids Dark version is a spin-off series from the SMT series. Despite this series trying to take a chunk out of the Pokemon market with its bright colors and kid-friendly aesthetic, it still retains its darker themes and SMT's conversational recruitment mechanic. You either love this mechanic or you hate this mechanic. Basically, rather than throwing a ball with a percentage chance to catch the monster, you instead have to chat them up like you're at a bar. Just like a bar, you have no idea how this conversation will end. Maybe they'll join you. Maybe they try to stab you. Maybe they get a bunch of friends together, give them a buff, and then they all take a turn stabbing you. There's a lot of stabbing. Personally, I don't like this mechanic very much. I think it's a little archaic and a sign of the game's age. It makes sense to be in these older games, before catch mechanics were fully solidified by Pokemon, but nowadays I think the recruitment mechanics is holding SMT back from true widespread appeal. This is that moment where I'm talking about please don't take me so seriously, because I know that's gonna hurt some feelings. Combat is like your standard turn-based JRPG, but with some added annoyances. In most games, you level up from defeating monsters. Instead, you level your monsters by fusing monsters or by spending money on training. Evolution only happens for one monster, and it's your partner Demonmon, and that only happens at set story intervals. But they also level from their evolution, so it feels pointless to fuse other monsters into your main monster to level them, because they just level from evolving anyway. So there's no point in doing the fusion mechanic unless it's to unlock new monsters or to build out the rest of your team. So you're still gonna, use it pretty frequently. The silver lining is that because of this, combat outside of boss encounters is entirely optional. Combat is actually so unimportant that there's an auto battle system. It really feels like it doesn't want me to fight at all. The lead does level up a bit, so you do need to fight a little bit as the level cap of your monsters can't greatly exceed your own. The story is pretty bare bones. You play a boy whose friends are into the occult, just enough to get you started, then quickly becomes about your child being created just to save the demon world from a dark future. It's sort of an isekai, but not really. Basically, the demon plane and the human plane become connected and you travel to the demon plane. You go back and forth between the demon world and the human world, but you mostly spend your time in the demon world. But unlike other multicolor versions of games, you're sort of expected to play both dark version and light version to get the full story. It's like rather than having two sodas, you have one soda, but you have to share it with your little brother and he does backwash. The story mostly talks about themes of tyranny and preserving our future, even if it's just in little ways. Like planting a single tree in the past completely changes the future for the better, and it's hard not to like a positive message like that. It's not a horrible game as far as monster catchers go, but I think they simplified the wrong systems. I would have preferred a normal leveling system for monsters and the conversation mechanic to be dialed back or replaced entirely. Pokemon has pretty involved mechanics for those who want to delve deeper, but makes catching simple, so anyone can enjoy it. The systems that Demikids takes out aren't even that involved, and they replace it with a more annoying system. Imagine if Pokemon required you to catch Pokemon and feed them to your other Pokemon in order to get stat ups and level ups. It'd suck, but it wouldn't be that bad. Then add in to catch the Pokemon, you have to talk to the Pokemon, choose a response, have a Pokemon with a catch chance skill, hope you choose the right response, and hope that your catch chance is high enough in general. Then if you fail, they buff themselves and attack 3 times in a row. Makes catching a little annoying, right? Maybe this leveling system for Demikids could have worked, but only if monsters were easier to catch. Thankfully you don't do that much farming, and the game can be beaten in around 15 hours. I'm just happy they did choose to leave out stuff like moon phases. That would have been annoying. The weird thing about the systems is that they supposedly differ between the versions. The wiki says that the dark version has more challenging combat and more difficult mechanics, but light has more complex fusion mechanics and simplifies other stuff like you earn more Maka, which is the money, and experience. It's weird that the version you buy is basically your difficulty slider, and there really isn't a way for people to know that. It's cool that the experiences are apparently very different, but for the most part in these multicolored versions, kids are just going to choose their favorite color scheme. It's not all bad, as the aesthetics of the game is superb. It looks good, it plays good, because it has 8-axis movement, sounds good, and the monsters all have friendlier or cooler designs designs than their mythological originals. There are definitely a few monsters that I saw like Asparus that I thought were better pokeified than their SMT designs. This duck goose thing, stinking adorable. The 8-axis movement was also welcome. I was playing on the RG Cube XX, and its D-pad is great for 8-axis games like this, but it was nice to also comfortably use the analog stick if I wanted to in a monster catcher. Pokemon has 4-axis movement, so using an analog stick just feels like a non-option. Final thoughts? As a kid, if I played this before Pokemon, I don't think I'd be as interested in the monster catcher genre. It's not really worth the $40 this would have released for, especially since you only get half the story. Fast forward a couple of decades, and I'd say it's at least worth trying since, you know, you can get it free. Since you couldn't get every game as a kid, it's kind of fun to see what everyone else was doing in the monster catcher genre around this time. But if you don't like the first 4 hours of the game, it doesn't get any better, so don't be afraid to drop it. A bit of a warning though, people do die, and in unpleasant ways, so you don't actually see it, but if you don't want to hear about a kid dying, maybe avoid playing it, but just a content warning in general if you decided to check it out. I was originally going to say that I don't think I'll play the light version, but knowing that it's easier, I'll probably speed through it out of curiosity. Maybe my negative opinions are just based on me playing hard mode. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to tip your YouTuber. I accept likes and subscribes, and I'll see you all later. Bye!